everyone. We are going to be talking about Azure Arc um, today. So, first of all, I hope everybody can see my slides. Okay. By the way, I'm going to just a heads up, I will be creating a new meeting invite soon. And with that, what we're going to do is I will delete the old one because for some reason messaging is not, IM is not working. So please unmute your phone and if you want to ask a question. So once again, forgive me for that. So this is an overview of Azure Arc. If you are not aware, there was an Ignite conference, that's Microsoft Signature conference that happens once every year, and we have big launches that are slated for that. And this is one of the um, products which was um, not only announced but is available in public preview. Um, so that's uh, at the Ignite, and with that product and being public preview, a number of customers have started looking at it. So I thought it's a good idea to just go over it, what it does, and the some of the details are kind of a bit limited, but I think it will be a good thing to go over what it provides and what it does for you. So if you don't know me, I'm a CSA in South Central region in US, focusing on Azure, of course. So first of all, why Azure Arc? So first of all, let's look at a few of the customer pain points. If a customer is born in the cloud or they have all their resources in Azure, this won't be an issue, and we won't be talking about Azure Arc. Why we are talking about Azure Arc? Because the customers who are have most of the customers have diverse infrastructure. They will have infrastructure on-prem, they will have infrastructure in the cloud, and they will have infrastructure in maybe, the cloud providers that have no name, like Google and AWS. So, I mean, so they will have diverse infrastructure in a sense that they may have containers, they may have edge devices and things like that, and they want a single pane of glass. Why I mean, they want to manage it from a single place. Manage it means apply policies, things like that from a single place. Okay. And because having it at multiple places, having going to different screens to manage that infrastructure, it becomes really, really painful. So that's one of the, I mean, some kind of one of the key. Uh, these are some of the key pain points that we are trying to address with um, Azure Arc. Okay. So once again, as I said, yeah, Azure can manage my infrastructure, wonderful, but all my infrastructure is not in Azure. It's on-prem, it's in different clouds. So how I can do it efficiently using uh, Microsoft Azure platform, and that's where we are kind of bringing Azure Arc to manage all your infrastructure, basically extending Arc into your data centers, into um, your wherever your infrastructure is. Basically, it can be, as I said, in your data center on-prem. It can be in your deployments in AWS, Google, or third-party data center, no matter what. So uh, that's the main goal of that of Azure Arc. What is at a high level? So this is kind of a high level overview of Azure Arc, or what are the capabilities that we are bringing right now. Okay, if you want to ask simply, Azure Arc is there to extend Azure management everywhere, to the infrastructure everywhere that is deployed. Okay, With this, that governs your data, that governs your data services, that governs your Kubernetes deployment. They can be on-prem or in the cloud, and of course, server management. So with that, these are the three capabilities that are made available at Ignite. The first one is management of server. So basically, you will be able to uh, project your on-prem server into the Azure portal. That's one capability, and apply policies, and we will take a look at that. Second one is data services anywhere. So we are making two data services, the ability to have those data services at scale, that is Azure SQL and Postgres, hyperscale PostgreSQL. So you should be able to kind of deploy them um, at your own infrastructure on-prem or in another competitor cloud. And the third one is the AKS. Just keep in mind Kubernetes. So basically, if you have K8 deployments on-prem or in um, another cloud, you should be able to manage them through Azure Arc. Okay. With that, just want to be very clear, the one capability, the organization of the servers, management of servers, that's available in public preview. The other two, they are kind of they're available in preview, but you have to whitelist your subscription. So there are links available that you can go there and request inclusion in that preview. But this server capability that is available in public preview, you can start with it right now. And that's what the majority of time we are going to talk, the capability that we're going to talk about is this server management capability. So with that, any questions?
Navid,
Okay.
Imtiaz here. So I have got some doubt on this one, the run data services anywhere. So you mean that we can have a SQL, Azure SQL database running on AWS and GCP as well?
That is right. That's what they said.
Okay.
Yes.
But then isn't that a little bit going backwards to SQL Server that runs on-prem and anywhere?
Good question. The thing is, we want to meet where the customer is. You know, they may have some applications that they are running in AWS and they don't want to move them into Azure, but still they want to take advantage of the data services that Azure provides. And they don't want to run it in Azure because that's a latency issue. So that's why they want to deploy those services where they are. So that's, that's the goal of this entire kind of services. Meet the
Yeah.
customer where they are. And by the way, these are the three services or three kind of aspects that we have started: server management, data services management, and the third one is the K8 Kubernetes. There are other services planned as well, and that is public information. And also, there are plans to having our partners creating their own resource manager. Because what we are doing is we are extending resource manager and our fabric controller that only existed in Azure to the customer data centers. And the future plan is to have our partners develop resource manager, resource providers to interact with this fabric controller and resource manager. So basically, you will be able to do far more sophisticated things with your on-prem server, with these third-party resource providers that is being talked about. And as I said, this is a public information. This is nothing that in a preview or so. So yes, a short answer is yes. You should be able to do it in AWS as well and GCP.
Yeah, and the only ask was, Navid, that I understand as infrastructure as service component can go and get deployed anywhere, but
Mhm.
platform as a service is normally running on our backbone. Fabrics and other things. So it is going to be interesting to see that these platform as services running on another cloud and managed by Azure.
Exactly. And that's where I don't think it's gonna be, oh, I have my old laptop, can you run Azure SQL on that? I think there would be some requirements, and
Right.
there would be some other things that will have to be met to do that. I mean, there's one thing to manage servers, existing servers and have project them in the cloud. And there's another thing to run database there. So yes, there would be some requirements. And as we know more about these services, I think we will learn more where they're going with. That's why probably in a future session, someone from the CSA team will cover data services and Kubernetes and in more depth. So till that time, probably we just kind of that's why I didn't want to focus on that because I the limited information that I have, it was that yes, that will be able to deploy data services anywhere. But devil is always in the detail. So hopefully we will cover it in more detail in a future session, and we'll find out more.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Okay. So this is kind of the entire picture. You have infrastructure in the Azure cloud that is covered that you can manage through Azure. Perfect. Then you have Azure Stack. That's Microsoft branded hardware that's running a Azure piece on a certified hardware, and that is also covered. I mean, that you can manage. We all know that. But with Azure Arc, we are bringing in, um, you know, any data center, any cloud. So that's the piece. Azure IoT Edge is also covered. We know that, but this is the middle piece that we are now providing coverage using the Azure Arc. So your infrastructure, as I said, servers, Kubernetes, and data services. Okay, so it's now in public preview. Let's quickly talk about it. Okay, so what you should be able to do with that. Actually, let's do a quick demo. So first of all, let me go to the Azure portal, and I'm going to go to Azure Arc, and let me increase the size a little bit. Okay, so this is Azure Arc, and this is, as I said, is in public preview. You don't have to do anything. For the other two, you have to sign up. The link is right there. You can go there and sign up, and then you will know more when your sign up is approved. If you want to do manage the servers, you can click on manage servers, and you can add an existing server, and it will show you. Right now, there are two ways. One, if you want to add one-off server, it will generate a script, you run it, the server will be added. The second one is adding machines at scale. Let's say you have hundreds of machines that you want to make it a part of Azure Arc. How you will do it? That will be done through the use of this machine at scale, where you create a service principal and basically run a batch script which kind of adds those machines to Azure Arc. So just to let you know, it's an agent-based model. We will hopefully, if time permits, we will talk about it in a second how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna do. I have an existing. It's only available in West US 2. That's why you are only seeing this region. It's available for Windows and Linux. I'm just gonna do Windows, and this is the script. So it gives you the script. I'm gonna take this script, and I have a VM running here. So I am in a now going into a what we call remote desktop. I have a VM running here, and I'm gonna do a PowerShell run as administrator, and basically just paste this, and it should run this thing. So it's going to download. While it is downloading, it's going to take a few minutes. What we can do is, I need need to go back. So what I'm going to do is let's go back and let's take a look at, um, one machine that we have already added and take a look at it, how we can, make changes to it. So let's see. Come on. Okay, that's good. So this is, oh, come on. Okay, so we have, so this is the machine. This is a VM that is running in my home lab. This is a Windows Server 2016 server that I'm running. I have already installed the agent on that. And once that agent is installed, it's basically now, what you have to do is you have to install the agent, then it asks you for your Azure credential. You have to sign in with that. Once you sign in with that, then that server is added here. So that server is added. If I click on it, it tells me what is going on with this server. Are there any activities? There are no events to display. There's nothing happening much on that server. It's a lab server. There are some properties that is what is the operating system, what is the version of the agent. I can put locks on that system as well. So just like you can lock your resources in Azure, you can lock your Arc resources. Policies, that's another thing. So you can apply policies on these servers. So this is the promise of managing these servers from the cloud to on-prem. And this is possible through that agent model. So what we are doing is, as I said, we are running a lightweight agent on the machine, which only talks externally. And by the way, if you are using a proxy server, like you don't want to have any traffic going through internet willy-nilly, you are going through a proxy, you can add that proxy in that configuration, and that traffic will go through the proxy, get to the Azure, and that's where you will be able to uniformly apply policies to it. One other thing, there are tags as well. So you can apply tags, and once you are searching the resources, you can search resources based on these tags. So these on-prem server now become first-class citizen in Azure, not like something that an afterthought, but first-class citizen. And as we add more and more capability to Azure Arc, you will be able to have more and more control, and you to apply policies to to manage these servers from the cloud. One question that has come up, okay, what happens to the on-prem tools? We are using on-prem tools. Should we stop using them? No, those tools are complementary. I mean, those are there for your management to use them. But this provides another way of having a single pane of glass to apply management to these resources. So let's go back there. Let's see if we are able to run the agent on this one. Okay, so now it's asking me that I need to, take this login and run it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the login here, and then it's going to ask me for this passcode. Let me copy that. Let me go here and paste that passcode. And once it's signed in, what will happen is it will show me, yes, you have signed into Azure and you may now close this window. So basically, at this point, the machine should be registered and it will show up in a few minutes in your Azure window. So let's go back here and let's go back to Arc. Manage servers. And and as you can see, this is the name of the machine, WinApp Dev, and it's now showing up here. So that's how you can add the machine. So By the way, any questions so far? Let's go back to the slides. Okay. So this is basically the scenario we are trying to address. Having your servers in different clouds. And by the way, this could have been a server running in GCP or AWS. Same thing, just run the agent. And as I said, there's a bulk scenario if you want to register server in bulk. There are ways to do it where you create a service principal, and through that service principal, you register the server into. And by the way, you can apply identity and access management, RBAC on these servers as well. I mean, the way it's implemented. So this is basically, once again, allow you to have a single pane of glass to apply policies and all that. So this is the Azure management that looks like today. And this is kind of with Azure Arc. As you can see, you have your local tools, and you are going to be continue to use your local tools for all management and all that stuff. But they become complementary as more and more, as we kind of project these resources in Azure and start managing in a certain control more and more there. So you are able to have a single place where you can apply a security policy, where you can kind of do access management, where you can apply in the future patches from a single pane of glass. Okay. So this is the model. I just want to show it to you. So it's an agent-based model. We are running a small agent on the server that has the capability to connect through a proxy or without a proxy to Azure. Once that is connected, now we can communicate back and forth with the servers, and we can basically, and you can put it on bare metal, you can put it on VMs, things like that. Okay, and at that point, you can communicate with that to apply policies for applying tags, and to kind of have the management control, asserting the management control on those servers. Okay.
Naveed Imtiaz here. So one question that in case of VMware on-premise or any other cloud, does this agent need to be deployed only on vCenter and which can control all the VMs, or does it need to get installed on individual VM?
Excellent question. Actually, I think they are working with on something which is either will be available very soon or is already available, where you just deploy it on vCenter and all of them are covered.
Another quick question: is this a free service, and also can the connection go over Express Route or site-to-site VPN?
Right now, the connection go over the internet. I think in terms of the express route, I have to find out. I don't know that how, I mean, will they go over express route? I think if you have Microsoft peering available, they may go through express route. And one thing is definitely true that if in certain cases, you may have to whitelist some FQDN because it is communicating back to Azure. So some organization may not like, something going out and communicating. So it doesn't matter what service they are. So we may have to do, those organizations may have to do some whitelisting as well. So yes, right now I don't know if it's going to be using express route or not, or it will be able to use express route or not. I don't have an answer. I will try to find out.
What about cost?
Oh, cost. It's in public preview. I didn't see any cost information. So hopefully once that is available, then I will be able to share it. So right now it is more of, for customers to play with. Okay, so. Okay. moving on, this is the Azure host. And what we are doing is in terms of, as I said, on-prem, there is kind of the agent has similar capabilities, so it can do, a managed service identity and things like that. So it can have that. So that's what we are doing on-prem with those servers as well. In terms of the onboarding experience, it is on. I mean, you can do, of course, onboarding using the script or uh, creating a service principal through manually, as well as their other application. Some things which is available now is Windows Admin Center. You can onboard through that, or Azure Automation Service. It will have hooks built into SCCM as well as Virtual Machine Manager. So you will be able to onboard through services as well. So that's kind of something that is going to be available. But I mean, I think the key message that I would like the audience to have is we are extending, Microsoft Azure is extending the capabilities of Resource Manager and Fabric Controller to the customer's data center. I mean, what I have heard so far in regards to the direction of this product, yes, only three capabilities are available, managing servers and Kubernetes and data services, but there are much more that is planned. And at the same time, the idea of custom resource provider, third-party resource provider interacting with the Azure Resource Manager, that opens door for a lot more exciting things. I mean, think of it. I mean, you have one pane of glass and you are doing all the things that you're used to do in Azure deployment and all through these custom resource provider to do it on-prem. I mean, so I think that is the core message of this service. And what we are seeing is we're just seeing kind of a very initial act of what they are showing it to the customers and how it can be used. So, that's, I think, the core message. Like one, having a single pane of glass to manage all your assets and applying policies and things like that. So I think that's a core message. Okay, I have added a
Yes,
link.
so I want to add one point, Navid, that definitely Microsoft is having openness policy, and a lot of enterprise customers are going with multi-vendor, multi-cloud partner strategy. So this is a one way of giving to the market and enterprise customer that, hey, we are no more just embraced only Microsoft stack. We're gonna go beyond Microsoft. So you guys,
Absolutely.
whatever you guys are thinking, we are boosting it up on the openness, and we are just supporting you to go for multi-cloud strategy if you wanna go with that. And we are the leader
Absolutely.
for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Absolutely, Dan. I mean, as I said in the beginning, this is about meeting the customer where they are instead of, because not every customer is going to move everything into Azure. Even if they want to, you know, that may not happen. So that's why we're going to meet the customer where they are, and that's a step in that, one of the step in that direction. Here are the list of sessions. Please, they're all available on demand. I have put the link to Ignite session. Just put a query ARC and you will see all those sessions. Most of them are available on demand. Some will be available over the weekend. Take a look, and educate yourself, educate your customers. And I think this is a great service that which will be kind of came up again and again, where our customers and our partners can take advantage. So thank you. I think we are right on time, actually 1 minute above time. So I hope everyone have a great weekend, and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. See you for another session of Azure Power Lunch next week.